Hello and welcome. Joining us now is the Minister of Women and Child Development, Ms. Meneka Gandhi. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us. Ma'am, my first question to you is, how do you plan to implement your new campaign, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao?
This is a campaign that is going to be over 100 districts. And these 100 districts that we've selected are among those that have the lowest ratio of girls to boys in the country. The national average in any case is 918 per 1,000 boys, which is very, very low. There is a belief that more boys are born per girls naturally. This is not true. If you leave it alone, in fact, more girls are born.
Okay.
However, this is a cause of great concern to us because every year the figures get more and more skewed. Now, what are we going to do about it? We have selected these 100 districts. In each district, we are going to be doing a great deal of publicity. The DM is in charge of it. Firstly, we're insisting on that the DM commit to that every child will have an institutional birth. See, it's when a child is born at home, then the parents kill the baby after it's born if they haven't found out whether it's a girl or a boy before. Nobody does anything, then they'll say that the child died by itself. So, one, institutional births. Second, there will be, not just taking the gynecologist to task, which is what is already happening for breaking the law of saying whether the fetus is a boy or a girl. The onus will now be put on the parents as well. Third is the sarpanches will be held responsible, and there's a Gudda Guddi card to be put in every village, where every day it will be changed on how many girls and how many boys there are. Now, any village that reaches a balance, a santulan of girls and boys being roughly the same, that village will be awarded fiscally and the sarpanch also. Then we're looking for people who will tell us if there's any family that is planning to abort. Now, it's legal to abort, but it is illegal to abort if the child sex is what bothers you. These are some of the issues, some of the things that we will take up. This is such a peculiar program. You can't actually regulate the sex ratio because it's such a private thing. But we need to have people on board, and we need to have people change their opinion that a girl is less valuable than a boy. And that is what this program will do.
And that's how Beti Padhao is also attached to it. It's just not Beti Bachao, but Beti Padhao. Ma'am, is it three ministry are working in coalition, like a health ministry and HRD and you? So
that's
how
right.
is it going to function?
No, we are responsible for the Beti Bachao part of it.
Okay, okay.
So once the girl is, it's our job to make sure that the girls are actually born. Okay. And we, as I said, we will do this through a mix of, we're sending vans to each village. We're trying to show people that, if you have a girl and you educate her properly, she stands as much chance as a boy of getting a job. And this whole business of paraya dhan is ridiculous, because when parents get sick, it's always the girl, wherever she is, who comes back and looks after them. It's not the boy.
Absolutely.
And where's the question of paraya dhan? Is she not your child, no matter where she's married?
Ma'am, what are the core issues? Is your ministry also looking into the core issues behind killing a girl child? And are you going to address that?
Yes, absolutely. I'm glad you asked this question. It's a very good question. The core issues are that a girl is killed for what reasons? One, because she's thought paraya dhan. Now, paraya dhan, what does it mean? It means that the parents have to get a dowry together. And they get really frightened because from the time the girl is born, they have to put together money to get her married. And therefore, they become resentful. If we could get rid of dowry, this would work hugely. Now, the idea is to motivate people to be strong enough to say, we're not giving any dowry. If you want the girl, she's yours. We have educated her well. She's been brought up in a good family with good manners, and she's very bright, and that's it. So dowry is one of the reasons. Two is safety. You feel that, all right, if the girl is born, where will we send her to school? Yeah. Where will we get the bus? Suppose she is molested. Suppose she is raped. Yes. So this we need to work with the police. And we need to work with the authorities to make India a safer place for women. And one of the things that we have suggested, which Gujarat has taken up, is to make 33% of the police force women. If we can do that, then we can make India a safer place.
You have written some letter to all the states also
regarding
this, making 33% quota for women police officer. What was the response on that?
Well, Gujarat has done it, and I think one more state has said that they are thinking about it.
Okay, and the rest of the states?
The rest of the states have not replied.
They haven't replied, so they're not.
But I'm sure that they'll think about it. You know, it takes time for something like this to percolate. And I'm sure sooner or later this has to happen, because it's the only way to make India's security services women sensitive.
Right. Ma'am, dowry is one aspect, safety is another aspect, but there is another aspect that we have seen in our tradition, that girl child is, if she's the first child of the family, they feel it's a problem who will carry forward the lineage of the family and all those issues which are generally found in certain states like Haryana, Rajasthan and all these states. How are you going to address that?
Again, we have to start now glorifying the girl. You know, Rajasthan, for instance, has started every time a girl is born, they have laddu bantoing and dancing, which is a great idea. A lot of states have done other things, which is they pay for when a girl is born, like Punjab, West Bengal. You get a certain amount of money when a daughter is born. Then a certain amount more when you start educating her. A certain amount more when you finish educating her. A certain amount more when she gets married or goes to college, you know. Now, even the Madhya Pradesh has also started this. Now, this fiscal incentive is also very important.
So, you're going to plan this in your
this
campaign.
Also has to be factored in, yes.
And ma'am, generally it is seen that the implementation is very important for any campaign. Are you adopting any mechanism to ensure that the implementation really works well?
Well, so far I've had workshops with all the 100 DMs and the CMOs. Now there will be, after this is over, we will be monitoring them on a day-to-day basis. And immediate rewards. You know, suppose we have a village that does well, fine. Suppose we have a single person who writes Agarwal and daughters on his shop instead of Agarwal and sons. Then he gets rewarded. We get the Rotary clubs involved. We've got NGOs involved. Let's see where it goes. I agree with you that, you know, between the cup and the lip, there's always a slip. But this time, let's try and make sure that the slips are less.
What is the response you're getting so far? You've been traveling to different places.
Well, everybody's keen to start this because, you know, as you pointed out also, the question is not just simply of bringing girls up to the level of boys in terms of number. It will involve changing prathas, changing old customs.
Mindset of the people.
Mindset and customs like dowry, like thinking of the girl as somebody else's, thinking of your name as only belonging to the man. I mean, why can't the girl keep her own name as she does abroad? So that's irrelevant. I mean, you can have an Agarwal daughter who remains Agarwal.
Ma'am, why you chose Panipat to begin the campaign?
Actually, I didn't. The Prime Minister did. And it's a good choice because Haryana is perhaps the worst of all the states. Here, the ratio goes down to as low as 800 and something per 1,000. In fact, it's so low the ratio that the men there have had to bring women as wives from the northeast, which again is not a nice thing to do.
Absolutely. So that's the reason Haryana would be one of the.
So Haryana is one, Haryana will be started off, but each one of the 100 is a primary focus.
So you're covering all the states in the country through these 100 districts?
Yeah.
And you have chosen these 100 districts on the basis of the problem?
We've chosen them as being the worst case study in that state.
Okay. Ma'am, now coming to, when we have spoken about safety of women, of course, then NCW is not having much power with them, judicious power, because, you know, whenever even I've faced that if a woman goes there with a complaint, she doesn't really get the results.
I agree with you. The thing is that I have, the law ministry and I have worked on to give it much more power. And the file is now in the cabinet. So when the cabinet passes it, then NCW will have much more power.
You plan to do it soon, I guess.
Well, it's in the cabinet. It's been in the cabinet now for several months.
Will it get judicious powers as well?
It'll have the power to get the perpetrators to come in,
Right.
and a certain amount of power to take action if they don't.
And Beti Bachao is one of the campaigns that you were working on. Apart from that, skill development and making women more self-dependent is another aspect which I'm sure, as you just now said, is essential so that they can come at par with men.
I agree with you.
What are you planning on that?
Two other facets to this. One is a nutrition program. We've noticed that even if you let the girls live, 46% of children in India are malnourished, of which the larger portion is girls. So they remain mentally less, because if you feed them less, then their minds work less. So we've got a nutrition mission which is all over India, which is our strongest, biggest attack. And the second is skill development. We would like to start major skill development of women. We have a bank now called Rashtriya Mahila Kosh, which will give money for skill training and to women who take the skill training. We have a program called STEP, which is for NGOs. Anybody who wants to do skill training can come and apply and get money from us for training.
It's a loan?
No, it's a grant.
It's a grant, okay.
The third is we want to set up beautiful skill training centers, which will be centers of excellence, to train thousands of women, and one per state.
Okay. Ma'am, when we talk about safety again, what are you planning to enhance safety, especially in the national capital?
Well, not just in the capital, but all across India. One of the reasons why women don't complain is because A, they're scared of police stations, and two, there's no place where they can go where they will be looked after and their case will be taken seriously. So we're making one-stop crisis centers in each district. Now we're starting with one per state and seeing how it goes, which is women who, right from stalking to eve-teasing to domestic violence to rape to molestation to being treated badly at work because you haven't listened to your boss's demands. All these things, she can come into the center. In fact, we have an ambulance attached to it. We will have a women's helpline. You come in and we will then do the medical and the legal, the judicial work for you.
Ma'am, when we talk about harassment or even abuse in the like workplaces, which are reported but they are not addressed so well.
They're not addressed because till today you haven't had a mechanism. It's really shameful that NCW should have no power. And two, that we have no center in India which will entertain your problem. You go to a police station, they don't take it seriously. Or in turn, they accuse you of being bad charactered.
Yeah, that's a major problem. So how
and those two policemen who actually raped that 14-year-old girl in Badaयूं add to, the popular concept of people being scared of police more than they are scared of the rapist.
Yeah.
So this will be addressed by the helplines, by the one-stop crisis center, hopefully by a change in the number of people in the police, which are women.
Ma'am, how soon can we expect this one center,
this year.
helpline center?
This year. You'll get one per state this year. And hopefully you'll get one per district in the next year.
It will comprise of who all in the center?
It comprises of a lawyer, a policeman, a psychologist, a welfare person. You are brought in. Your complaint will be registered. You will get a lawyer to address it. You will get a policeman to write out the FIR. You'll get the lawyer will of course fight it for you. You'll get a doctor if you need one, and you will also stay there if you need to stay for a few days.
Will it be one per state, you said, or?
Unfortunately, so far it's one per state, even though what is needed is one per district. In fact, many more per district. But let's start. We have started with one per state. And if this goes well and we see that women are responding and it's actually helping, then by next year I'll do one per district.
Okay. Ma'am, coming to rape in schools, like it has increased in past 1 year. Are you planning anything, any concrete measures against, not against schools, but to ensure that the schools, they behave responsibly as far as the safety of the girl child is concerned?
What can you do? Can you keep CCTVs in every room? No, you can't. Who can you prevent them against? Sometimes it's students against students, sometimes it's teachers, sometimes it's lower class staff. How do you protect them? See, it's very easy to say that yes, there is molestation going on in schools, and I agree with you, there is. But unless we teach children, and what we are going to do is, we're going to be showing films in schools, showing them what is inappropriate, and telling them where to complain. A lot of children get molested, they keep quiet.
It's very interesting. When are you planning and how you're planning to
The films are being made.
films?
The films are being made, and they will then show them when they're ready to schools, to show you what is inappropriate
to the children.
To the children.
Okay.
And what are the laws. The second thing that we're planning with the help of HRD is Sabla program, which is that we take an hour after school and we teach the laws to children, to young girls about 14, 15 years old. We teach them about their bodies and how not to get married so early, what happens to their body when they do, what happens when they have a child early, how to keep themselves healthy, what are fungal infections, things like that. It's like my body, myself. And the second one will be how to negotiate the world. Suppose your father dies, how to get a will registered, how to go for his, how to get the property in the family's name, how to meet a DM, things that they need to negotiate the world, how to go to a bank.
And you will be reaching out to every schools at small villages? And
we will be going to every school which is listed with the HRD.
So that's a very
ambitious.
How soon you're going to start it?
I
because
don't know.
It sounds very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I talked to HRD, the HRD minister, 6 months ago, and then again 4 months ago. Now she's written me a letter saying that she's quite happy with this program, but it needs, because education is a state subject.
Right.
She's going to have a meeting and run this through every state minister to see that they're on board.
But we can get start in the national capital at least, because
even that's a state.
Right. So you need state permission.
I need to go to each state, and maybe we can start it state by state, whichever state
it's
agrees.
like educating a child about his or her own body.
That's right.
And how to protect herself.
That's
basically is the film you're planning, and that will actually
No, and these are textbooks.
Textbooks.
Yeah.
And the film also will be
and
there.
And the film is about what is inappropriate touching, what is molestation, what are the laws, whom should you report to.
That's the best
why you should
way.
not keep quiet.
Right. That's the best way to teach a child.
Yeah, because the child must eventually defend.
Right. Thank you so much for talking to DD News.
All right. Thank you.